First, we need to improve or increase the energy efficiency in different appliances, like in manufacturing or in construction. And then the energy transition into a greener or more sustainable world requires significant investment in new low-carbon infrastructure. To put a figure, analysts estimate that a 70% reduction in global CO2 emissions by 2050 would require us to invest every year 2 to 4 trillion. Over the next 3 decades, we are speaking about $100 trillion. And we need to accelerate the process because to get a greener world, the growth rate of new clean energy technologies has to be 3 times faster every year than today. So, I think most of this is already well known. But what I think that is heavily underestimated is that all those new energy technologies need a lot of commodities, and mainly industrial metals. Why? Because an electric car has 7 times more industrial metals than a conventional car. And the same with renewable power plants like wind turbine that needs 10 to 14 times more industrial metals than a natural gas power plant. And I'm speaking here mainly about copper, aluminium, nickel, lithium, cobalt, but also steel. So some analysts expect the demand for those so-called green metals to quadruplicate over the next few years. And after 10 years of underperformance and underinvestment in the commodities, I'm not surprised to see some metals markets tight or in deficit, and this probably for the next several years. Because to bring a new mine into commercial production takes at least 8, 10 to 15 years. The energy transition is highly complex to model as there are so many developments to watch. But what is interesting to see is that even in the net zero scenario of the International Energy Agency in 2050, we will need at least 20% fossils. Yes, we would have 80% clean energy in such a scenario, hopefully, but fossils are not going to zero. For example, oil is not only transportation. Yes, transportation makes slightly more than 50% of the oil consumption, but there are other uses like in petrochemicals, buildings or industry, where the substitutions possibilities are sometimes very limited or non-existent today. I'm optimistic that mainly technology advances and innovation will help us in this process in the near future to get a more greener and more sustainable world.